So
what's your take on that, Ben? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I've heard some of the same stories from Contract. I think it was Erica Campbell that talked. She really educated me because I haven't been on the business side of music, but she really educated me when she talked about her deal. The whole concept of recoupment was a term I hadn't heard before, and she realized that the record company was I think it was 2 or 3 years or something like that before she made money off of that one album. The Mary made money off the one album because of what the record company they were doing the same thing that Kanye was doing, blowing money. And so it took that long before the artist could ever start making any money off the project. And I think I think Ricky said something about the birthright. I think that's the thing people don't understand, that you own something that's valuable. That's the reason why they want to offer you a lot of money up front for it, because they know you're going to make the money. And like, no, we don't really want you to make the money. We want to make sure we get our cut. That's the very traditional record label mentality.
See, so what happens is in a record deal it is a loan. Okay, first of all. So when they give you an artist, they give you an advance. That advance is a loan. It's the equivalent of it's a loan against record sales of your project, right? So, and what happens is they would give the artist these advances. Artists go and get shoes. They're supposed to take that money to pay to fund the album, right?
Right.
But that advance generally is not enough really to do anything with, especially if you trying to go get your car, you're trying to get your piece of jewelry, which they know you're gonna do that, and you go try to, get your album done. Because what ends up happening is the artists always end up owing the record label, right? And you ended up doing another deal to try to eat up some of the negative equity from the last deal that you done.
Right.
And that's why you can have an artist who flops and they can owe a record label 1.5 or 2.5 million, and they're still doing music. And it's kind of like forever being an indentured servant, And
it's slavery.
And the only way that you can avoid that, really simple, is to say no.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think you have to know your value, though. I think that's the key. You have to realize how valuable you are. They understand that your value. And I think a lot of times people, especially when people come from nothing, you look at all these artists that start literally from nothing. They start in the hood and then suddenly, they have all this money at their disposal. They have no concept of value. And it's not until they've blown a lot of the money before they come back and realize their value.
I mean, Mr. Coleman, you being down in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure you've heard LaFace Record horror stories and as far as the artist roster. I think there's an interview series going around with Andre Rison. He was talking about how LaFace Record artists, were basically broke and living at home while they had hit records. I think the main thing that I want independent artists to get from this is that this is abnormal. This amount of money that Kanye was making, because the record company advanced him. What was it for The Life of Pablo? They advanced him somewhere around $12 million,
and that's
for that record.
That's abnormal. Very abnormal.
They gave him Yeezus. They gave him $12 million to make that record, and $8 million of it was an advance for him to keep. That's abnormal. That's an abnormal amount of money. Why would they do that? And because to me, if a record company is going to give you $8 million, they already know that they can make close